Retirement looks nothing like I expected. This isn't the retirement I planned, not even close. When I was younger, I had a very clear picture of what retirement would look like. Retired, house paid off, maybe a little travel, more time with family, and a whole lot less stress. That's not how my story unfolded. Today, I'm at retirement age and I'm still working. I'm still paying off debt. I'm still learning brand new skills just to keep up with a world that refuses to slow down. If you're over 50 and you've ever looked at your own life and quietly thought, this isn't what I expected, then this video is definitely for you. At 69, retirement looks nothing like I expected. Hi, I'm Val Harris Sr. And again, I'm 69 years old. And over the years, I've been a military veteran, a car salesman, a real estate agent, and a business owner. I'm currently a rideshare driver and an Amazon delivery driver and a gig worker in more opportunities than I can count. Today, I'm also a YouTube creator, learning technologies that didn't even exist when I grew up. And honestly, that's part of what this channel is all about. I don't want this to feel like another YouTube video. I'd rather it feel like we're just sitting across the kitchen table talking about life. Because that's where real conversations happen. The kind where we can learn from each other. We can adapt. We keep growing. And we refuse to believe that getting older means slowing down. On this channel, we're going to have honest conversations about money, technology, gig work, business, and navigating life after 50 in a rapidly changing world. But before we talk about any of that, there's one word that almost nobody ever prepares us for: retirement. But what about the dream we were sold? You know, most of us grew up believing that retirement followed a simple formula. You work hard, you stay loyal to your company, you save money, you build a retirement account, and then one day you retire and finally enjoy the rewards. The house is paid off, the bills are manageable, you even travel a little bit, maybe spend time with family, and maybe you sit on the porch and enjoy the sunset. That's the retirement many of us imagined. The television commercials showed smiling couples walking on the beach. The financial brochures showed perfect charts just climbing upward. Everything looked predictable, safe, planned. The message was simple. You work hard, you do the right things, and retirement would take care of itself. But there was one part that they rarely talked about. What if life didn't go according to plan? What if you were still working like me at 69 or 70 or 80 or 90, still dealing with debt, still adapting to an economy that keeps changing the rule? That part never made it into the brochure. And yet millions of people, that's exactly where life has taken us. Let me be honest. Back in 2020, after COVID turned our lives upside down, I filed Chapter 7. You know, that wasn't something I ever imagined would become part of my story, but it is. I had to start over financially. I had to rebuild my credit. I had to learn how to recover from mistakes and setbacks that honestly I thought would already be behind me at this stage in my life. There were times when family helped me stay on track financially. And frankly, that's humbling to admit at 69 years old. And if you're watching this feeling embarrassed because maybe your retirement doesn't look the way you plan, I want you to know something here. You're definitely not alone. I know that feeling. I've lived it. But there's something I'm proud of. I didn't stay there. Little by little, I rebuilt. I'm still rebuilding. I'm still paying things down. I'm still improving month after month. But that's exactly the point. Setbacks don't have to become the end of your story. Sometimes they become the beginning of a better chapter. You know, my wife has also been trying to move beyond gig work to find a better traditional job. That means I've continued doing whatever it takes to keep income coming in. Driving Uber, Lyft, Amazon deliveries, and just about every gig opportunity I could find. Long hours, lots of miles, and a body that definitely feels 69 at the end of every day. When you hear statistics about Americans working well past retirement, I'm not reading the statistic. I am the statistic. And honestly, I'm okay saying that because I know I'm not the only one. What surprised me most wasn't the financial challenge, it was the mental challenge. There were days I wondered if somehow I had failed. Well, like everyone else had figured life out and somehow I had fallen behind. You start asking yourself questions. How much longer can I keep doing this? What happens if my health changes? Did I somehow miss the retirement that I thought I'd have? Eventually, I realized something. Whether I liked my circumstances or not, they were still my reality. And once I accepted that, a different question emerged and replaced all the others. What am I going to do about it? That question changed everything. And one day I started paying attention, really paying attention, and I realized something important. I'm not the only one. Every day I see people in their 60s, their 70s, and even beyond still working. Some because they enjoy it, but many like me because they have to. Some retired quietly and then went back to work because retirement didn't stretch as far as they thought it would. The more I looked, the more I realized this isn't an unusual story. It's becoming a very common one. Millions of Americans are trying to figure out what the next chapter looks like. So if your retirement doesn't look like the commercials, that doesn't mean you failed. It means you're living in the real world. And maybe that's exactly why we need to start having honest conversations. At some point, I realized I had a choice. I could spend time being angry at the economy, or I could adapt. I choose adaptation. I decided I didn't want my story to end with, he gave up. I wanted my story to be, he kept learning. He kept building. He kept moving forward. That decision changed the direction of my life. Not overnight, but one decision at a time. So what did I decide to do? I focused on the things I could still control. I kept working, not because it was my dream retirement plan, because it gave me income, flexibility, while I built the next chapter of my life. And then I did something a lot of people my age try to avoid. I became a student again. I started learning new technology, artificial intelligence, content creation, video production, using tools that didn't even exist when I was growing up. Instead of being afraid of change, I decided to understand it, and something unexpected happened. Learning gave me purpose and hope again. It reminded me that life doesn't stop just because we reach a certain age. Am I still learning? Absolutely. Do I have everything figured out? Not even close. But I'm moving forward, and today that's enough. So, what can you expect from my channel? You can expect honest conversations about money, about rebuilding after setbacks, about gig work, about technology and business, about getting older without giving up. I'll share the mistakes I've made, lessons I've learned, the things that worked and the things that didn't. If something can save you time, money, and frustration, I'll share that too. Because if I've already made the mistake, maybe you won't have to. If you're in your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, or beyond, and you're still trying to figure out what the next chapter looks like, I think you're going to feel right at home here. Because that's exactly what I'm going to do. One thing I've learned at 69 is this: life doesn't always follow the plan we imagined. Sometimes it takes a completely different road. But a different road doesn't mean the journey's over. We're still learning. We're still growing. We're still building the next chapter. And maybe that's what retirement really looks like for a lot of us. Not the end of the story, just the beginning of a different one. And if any part of my story sounds familiar, I'd be honored if you subscribe and join me on this journey. And tell me in the comments below, did retirement turn out the way you expected? Or are you still figuring that out too? I'd genuinely love to hear your story. I'm Val Harris Sr. Thank you for spending a little time with me today. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.